Welcome to another ML progression guide. Today we'll go over 10 heroes to invade the buff. If you watch my advanced jungle guide, you already know that early game is quite important to the jungler. Therefore, invading the buff can be a big setback for the enemy, which gives your team an advantage. Let's start right away, so you'll learn which heroes you can use to invade the buff and to look out for when the enemy has those heroes in their team. Okay, so the first hero and the most obvious one is of course Franco. His hook makes him one of the best ones to just grab the buff of the enemy to reset it. You just have to show up right after the buff spawns. Because most players expect Franco to hook the buff, it's really important to try to not to be seen by the enemy team. Just hide in a bush and wait a few seconds after it spawns before hooking the buff. You can even do this a second time, when their allies aren't attacking you. Another great pick to invade the buff is Tigreal. By using a second skill, you can push the blue or red buff away to reset it. It can be a bit harder than Franco's grab, but he is definitely a great hero to invade the buff. Like I explained in my advanced jungle guide, you can use your camera to listen if the enemy jungler is killing a certain monster. If he isn't at the red buff, you should run towards the blue one quickly to attack there. Just walk towards the buff and push it out of his range, so the jungler can start over. Just like with Franco, you can repeat this process to even further decrease the farming speed of the enemy jungler. Angela is another great hero to attack the buff, because she's quite strong in early game. That's all because of her first skill. You can stack this up to 5, which enable you to cast skill 5 times in a small period. Angela goes best with another ally to invade the buff, since her skill not only deals damage to the enemies, but it also heals her allies. When invading the buff, it's important that you keep spamming her skills against the enemy jungler. Every time the target receives damage from the skill, the next cast will deal 20% increased damage. If you manage to stack this up to 5 times, she can deal huge damage, which makes her a great hero to invade the buff. Try to get an ally with you to make sure the jungler doesn't obtain the buff. Another obvious hero to steal a buff is of course Hanzo. He can eat the jungle monster, so this makes him the most effective one to steal the blue or red buff. I personally prefer to use him and steal the buff when the enemy jungler picks a hero that has to prioritize the blue buff, like Fanny or Ling. This way you have a big chance of stealing the red buff from them. This monster over here is the one that spawns right after the blue and red buff. Just deal 5 times damage and eat the red buff. You can then finish this monster too, to steal a total of 2 monsters of the enemy jungle, which really decreases his farming speed. Then just return to your jungle to take the blue buff and continue your farming route. Really easy, but quite effective. Next we have Hilda, which is also a great one to invade the buff. Her passive, as well as her second skill, makes her such a great pick if you want to invade the buff. Her passive provides her a shield, as well as healing her for 2% of her max HP every second when staying in a bush. Her second skill deals a good amount of damage in level 1. I also suggest you use the tank emblems, which deal extra damage after using basic attack. This way she's really strong even solo. Just make sure you attack the hero 3 times with skill 2 and use basic attack to activate the emblem effect. Try to fight inside the bush, so she restores HP to increase the chance of surviving. Try to deal as much damage to the target as possible, while staying in the bush as long as possible to increase the chance of making the enemy jungler run away. Basha is another hero that's great at stealing the buff. This is because he is also quite strong at level 1 for 2 reasons. The first one is his passive, which decreases the damage you receive. It makes him just a bit more durable, which is quite useful when invading. The other reason is his second skill. This deals a good amount of damage, while the cooldown gets reduced whenever casting it against an enemy hero or jungle monster. Always try to prioritize the enemy hero, so the damage makes him leave the buff. Then afterwards you can steal the buff easily, by spamming this skill on the monster. This is also a quite easy way to steal the buff, but I suggest you ask an ally with you to increase the chance of succeeding. The most important is to never miss the second skill. since Bastia isn't that effective with his second skill on cooldown. The next hero is another tank that is really strong in early game. Hylos is very powerful because of its second skill and high HP. If you play him and want to invade the buff, I highly suggest you buy the Power Crystal as first item. This item adds 280 mana, and because of his passive, it also adds 420 HP. That's a great bonus which makes Hylos even stronger in early game. When invading with Hylos, you should try to use skill 2 and stay near the enemy jungler to deal damage that increases, as well as lowering the attack speed and movement speed of the enemy jungler. He's especially strong against heroes that rely on basic attack, since he can decrease the attack speed of the target by 50% at max. Also for Hylos, the tank emblem that deals damage after basic attack is great to increase his damage. Try to get an ally with you to increase the chance of succeeding. Next up, Valier. This hero is also great if you want to steal the buff. That's mainly because of his first skill, that also can be stacked. This skill can stack up to 2 stacks, but every time this skill hits an enemy, 1 stack will be provided. This makes him a very strong early game hero, as long as you manage to hit an enemy every time you cast this skill. Doing this successfully makes it quite easy to deal high amounts of damage on the enemy jungler and make him recall. This way you decrease the effectiveness of the enemy jungler quite well. Another benefit is that Valor is played at the mid lane, which makes it easy to go towards any of the 2 buffs to attack. It only takes a good aim and a few fire bombs to hinder the enemy jungler enough to make him leave. Another hero that has a skill with stacks is Diggy. His first skill can be used to place bombs that deal a good amount of damage. You can stack this up to 3, which enables you to deal a good amount of damage against multiple targets. Try to hit the jungler to let him lose HP or kill him after he obtained the buff. Aiming is quite important to his success, so make sure the bombs don't only hit the monster. Another good or bad thing about Diggy is that he doesn't spawn at the base after being killed. This can benefit you to attack the enemy again after being respawned, but it also can lead to getting killed multiple times. While it can be dangerous for Diggy to invade the buff, he is a decent hero to launch an attack in early game. The very last hero I want to mention is Natalia. She is also one of the best ones to invade, since she can become invisible. Also her first skill deals a good amount of damage at level 1. Making her a perfect hero to gank the buff. Use basic attack first when invisible, followed by skill 2 twice. This will do a good amount of damage, and this can especially be powerful if you gank a jungler that gets no help from his team. You can easily erase 50% of the HP of the jungler in seconds, which may kill him or force him to leave. If you're lucky, this can even lead to stealing the buff from the enemy. Natalia is way more effective with another ally with you. This way your ally can go first and you can surprise the enemy by attacking when the target is low HP. If you do this right, the chance of making a kill is quite big. These were all 10 heroes that are great to invade the buff. I really hope this information helped you to become more effective. If you want to receive more guides about how to increase your Mobile Legends gameplay, just hit the subscribe button. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you again in the next guide.
Victory!